How's everybody doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just trying to figure these phone situation out. Sorry. Just here feeding Stanley and trying to do my normal daily chores. Um, and I just wanted to kind of talk about what I posted earlier, and I don't know if people saw it yet. And so obviously it's not a good morning. I don't know. Hi, Rebecca. How you doing? Obviously it's not a good morning, because you know it's not. It's just terrible. So I'm trying to see if I can read the comments on Facebook. So obviously it's we've suffered a tragedy, and it's really you can't even pretend to understand how we are absolutely devastated. And this is part of what we do, but there's I don't think there's a way of understanding it or getting used to it, and we're trying to figure out, mentally. We've been going through a lot of things here. We're flooding. The special care barn is flooding, where Lily lived, and that's been a devastation for us because we just finished building it. So we've been dealing with flooding, and we're dealing with, you know, a tragic loss, and I'm trying to make sense of everything and not sound like I'm out of my mind, but I am. We're trying to get through right now. Yeah, the barn is it's a mess. It's flooding. I've been sandbagging and trying to figure everything out, and with that exhaustion and doing that, and then Lily kind of crashed a little, and I'll talk about Lily in a second. Thank you. She was loved, and we question. This is my process, is questioning my care and my supervision over care and stuff like that. And it was just it's just we did everything right. I mean, we did everything right. I don't think there's a question of that. That's really not a question. I think the question was, we know her body was broken. We know she didn't have a long life, but she was going to be 3 this summer. She was almost 3, so she was only 2 years old. And you know the whole team, from Cornell, was messaging us about her, and and they were incredibly supportive and talking about the life that we've given her, and why you maybe in the future I can focus on what the life that she was given, and the joy she brought to us, and the joy she brought to Willow and Mikey and all of her friends and followers. But right now it's not there. I don't feel joy. I don't feel satisfaction. I don't feel I don't feel joy. I don't feel satisfaction. I feel empty. I feel empty holding a baby while she takes her last breath. You know, I don't think that could ever be right. It doesn't, you know, even though the doctors and we knew that she couldn't go on, she was in too much pain. There's never, it can't feel right, you know? It can't feel like you've given her a happy life. You've given her more than she could ever have gotten in her past life. You can't feel that. You just feel like this isn't right? And, you know, long conversations with Dr. Radcliffe, her doctor. You know, he sent a message just talking about the excellent care, and this is a person who he Lily was the first pig he ever was her first pig patient. So the full circle of him helping her pass was kind of different. It was, I guess, a good thing, and he was devastated, and in conversations with him and the team, and she was a baby. We said goodbye to Katniss, we said goodbye to Carl, said goodbye to Jane, Louis. Those animals had a good life. They experienced more than Lily could. And because, and I don't want to turn this into a negative or, any kind of bitching session, but me, it's hard for me not to tell it like it is. And if you out there, if you're on my live and you are continue buying animals and doing stuff like that, you're the problem. This is a greedy breeder. Breeders aren't good. There's not a good breeder in this world. And a greedy breeder caused this, and when they're so bred, they just get so, there's enough Kuni Coons in the world for a million years. We got to stop exploiting these animals for money and not see it like it's a problem, and it's the disconnect for these animals is so real, and because of what I post, all these For You stuff come up on my page about Kuni Coons. And, obviously we know Kuni Coons are amazing animals. They're wonderful. And they're their own worst enemy. And they're their own worst enemy because they are sweet. They are thick, they're big, they're hardy. So what does that happen? These homesteaders, these people start raising them for meat because they're big, they're thick, and they're sweet. Imagine your freaking disconnect where you're going to kill an animal, but you want to make sure it's sweet because when you go and put the gun to its head, you want to make sure it comes to you with a smile. So all these homesteaders are coming up on my page, and I'm sorry for the rant. But because of me posting pigs, all these homesteaders are coming up on my page. Oh, we raise Coons because they're so sweet. Look at that face. Look, we got piglets. Like, they are showing piglets. And in 6 months or a year, the Coons would take a little longer for them to eat. But like they're raising their kids to have such a big disconnect because they want to teach them that animals are here for us to eat and use how we want. So, hey, let's get the cutest, sweetest animal for us to eat. So we can go out and raise them and post cute pictures and get viral of, these homesteaders and these farms raising Coons for meat. But like, how disconnected are you? Like, hey, let's get the sweetest animal alive and raise it for meat. And the kids love them, and the public goes crazy, and we go viral, and then we're gonna shoot them. And it's like, how messed up are we as a people that's like your thought process? And all these great comments, they have all these there's no positive, no negative comments except for mine. I'm the shit star. And I'm like, and then you're gonna kill him. And obviously it's gonna get deleted and stuff like that. But like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy to me that's your thinking. Your thinking is, hey, let's Let's raise the cutest thing, the cutest, sweetest soul on the world. I mean, like look at Lily. I mean, I forgot the story, but Lily, I'm sure, was being raised for meat, and it's like all of her family's already dead. So hey, she lived past her expiration date because that's what they have. They have expiration dates. They're a product. They're a product. And so, it's just, it sucks. And, people are horrible and we just need to do better. And it's like, this is what we do. I'm sorry. This freaking phone. This is what we do. It's what I chose to do is rescue animals. And with rescue, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You deal with the grief and you deal with the death. And, someone like Carl, who lived a fantastic life here, a horrible, tragic beginning, but lived a wonderful life here. Katniss, Joy, Jane, Ren, Louis, who had a chance. Willow's definitely depressed. I'd go in there, but my Wi-Fi is all messed up and I don't know how to fix it on here. So let me just say, I may have to log back. Hold on. Okay, let's see if this worked. If this worked, I can go in there. But yeah, Lily passed away, and it's funny because we kind of all knew. It's not funny. I'm sorry. She was slowing down. She was in pain. Her body was eating herself. He said her joints were so broken, there was no fixing them. Like her joints, her body was eating herself. And it's because of a chromosome. She had a chromosome issue. And so her body turned on itself and there was no fixing it. There's underlying issues. And she was so sweet. She was so sweet and she was so wonderful and she was so loving. And, no one deserves this. But she was a baby. She had beautiful summers here and she loved the summer. She loved to swim. She loved Willow with all her heart. The beautiful thing about that was that, like, Willow became mama. Willow became mama and embraced that relationship. And the good thing is no one that was raised where she was raised or raised like she was raised ever get to spend, 2.5 years with mama, with their mother, because mom's killed and their babies are killed. And so if in the future, I can't look past the pain and the grief, but maybe in the future, that's what I can focus on, is that no one that is raised like she is raised, no pig is raised that gets to spend 2.5 years with a maternal figure. And Willow stepped up there and she was a beautiful mama. We're naming the special care barn after Lily. It's going to be Lily's Lodge. So we're going to have a sign made for her, and have a dedication. But the new barn is going to be called Lily's Lodge. This is what we've been dealing with. This is the barn has been flooding. So we've been exhausted. And then Lily, Lily happened, and it made it worse because we've been working so hard getting it. So we have a big drainage project to do, and this is just a mess. So the barn has been flooding, so we just have been working on getting it not flooding. So in the exhaustion, you know, Lily took a turn for the worst, and there was no saving her. There was nothing that they can do, and they were devastated because they realized there was nothing they can do. I just wish she touched grass again. I wish that she felt the sun on her face again, but she's not. She didn't. She couldn't. She was in so much pain. She couldn't walk. And yeah, we're gonna call it Lily's Lodge in dedication to Lily. Ooh. You know, I don't think you can get used to this. And I think if you can get used to this, you need to get out because it's not healthy for you to get used to this. So maybe the pain is gonna, because I'm fried. I'm done. I'm struggling with every day here with her loss, with the flooding and the weather, and just this is the mess. And I pride our place on being beautiful and well taken care of, and it's a wreck. And now after a big build, because the barn was done late, we didn't have a chance to do the drainage, and now some things on the pad need to be fixed, and so much more work needs to happen, and that's not helping because we're exhausted cleaning up the flooding every day. Add to the grief and the lack of sleep and overall people just being mean to us is exhausting. You know, I love what I do. I'm blessed I'm able to do this work. I'm blessed that you guys support us in doing this work. But there's some days that, you know, we don't have the ability to procrastinate. We don't have the ability to not to get out of bed. We don't have the ability to not clean. We don't have the ability to not feed, and don't have the ability to not give water and medication. You know, we're not like a coffee shop or a real estate office where if you close, no big deal. We don't close. We don't stop. No matter how exhausted we are, how sad. And this is not patting myself on the back because I could care less. I could care less. I don't need accolades. I do this because I love these animals with all my heart. These animals are my family. These animals mean more to me. And when you lose them, it's like losing a member of your family. But all the exhaustion from this, it just compounds everything. The grief is so heavy on our souls. If you look around and you see the haze and the darkness, I don't know if it's me and it's sunny out and this is all I see and it's actually a beautiful day, or this is just how it is. I'm literally that exhausted and that sad that I don't know if this is just how I'm looking at the world right now, where it's gray and hazy and rainy and terrible, and that's just my soul right now, or it's terrible. I don't need accolades. This is what everybody would do if they were in my situation and they had the chance to do it. Everybody would work this hard. Everybody would do what we do. We just chose to do it. I think if you have a passion for anything, you're going to do it hard. You're going to do it right. So this is nothing special. What we're doing is nothing special. But we do it because of our passion, and we want people to feel our passion. We want to educate people on changing the world for these animals, and that's what we want to do. And so I'll take the grief, I'll take the pain from this and the flooding and turn it around and rescue more animals and educate people on how animals are raised. And I say the same speech that's probably getting old when an animal leaves us. And the speech is, if you woke up this morning and you found out that an animal that you never met passed away and you are in tears, she changed you. She changed you. If you woke up crying, your heart hurt because you saw a picture of Lily and know she's not here and she was in so much pain that she said goodbye, she changed you. And unfortunately, that's what we do. We can change people when they're here with us, when the animals are here with us, thriving and living. And if that makes you happy, seeing an animal live in the pasture and enjoy their life, then that's great. That's what we're doing. We're here to educate people. We're here to change minds. We're here to change people's hearts. But when an animal passes, if you feel the grief like she was with you and she was in your care and you met her, then we've told the story right and she changed you. And she changed people. She changed people's lives. I mean, I got so many messages that when she kicked off her prosthetic, people just loved that. When she'd run in the pasture, people loved it. This was an animal who had no chance at life, and she ran in a pasture. And I got to find the video of her kicking off. It might have been on live. Her prosthetic, and I'm gonna go back and share some of the better moments and the happy moments that we enjoyed with her. And if I can, I'm struggling. It was Princess' 7-year rescue anniversary, and Lily passed away on that day. So I want to kind of celebrate Princess's day tomorrow with her, because Princess is a positive. So why we've had the tragedy for Lily, we also have a 17-year-old pig that is living an amazing life after starting out 10 years. A breeder had a breeding and was locked in a stall for 10 years. And now she's been here for 7 years and is 17 years old, living an amazing life. So I think we have, in the same day, maybe it was supposed to be, maybe, this was the education moment of, we've had our oldest and our youngest change things in a different way. Well, we have our youngest who passed and our oldest who celebrated a rescue anniversary. So, so maybe there's a message in there somewhere, and maybe I'll find it. I doubt it right now. I'm not seeking that clearly, and but our oldest and the youngest one had a wonderful day, one had the worst day ever, and I don't know how to digest that. But Princess didn't get to celebrate her day on that day. But here's the thing, Princess has more days. Lily didn't. And it doesn't seem real because she was such a big part of the sanctuary, and every pig here is a big part of the sanctuary. And again, I say stuff, I repeat stuff because they mean so much to me. And, the sanctuary is like a puzzle. And when a piece is missing, we're just not whole. And we keep getting pieces missing. Pieces keep going missing. And I don't know if we'll be okay, but we will never be whole again. From the first time we lost an animal to today, it just, we're not whole. And so if you go look at the post, it has an explanation of what happened. We're waiting for test results to get back. Um, and so, please share her story. I posted a picture of her and myself. I hope people don't take it as I was being selfish, but it was a fond memory of her as a baby. And please make sure you share it with the world and share the loss that we feel when these people exploit these animals. And so, it's hard because the exploitation is real and it's not ending. And so, um, I was looking at pictures to post, and again, I apologize if it was selfish or it was to post a picture of myself when an animal passed, but I just wanted to show how she loved humans. She loved humans so much. She loved people, and she had every right to hate humans, but she loved them. And so I wanted to show how she would react to people. And I don't know. So it's really hard to see the positive right now, but I know we have good things happening, but I can't see them right now. We have a lot of amazing support from people like you, and we have a lot going on this summer. We have a lot of programs. We have a lot of everything planned. Our future is very bright. I believe, and that's what they tell me. I don't feel it right now. I feel my heart is in a lot of pain. And the drainage will get fixed. That stuff will get fixed. My heart will always be sad for Lily. The drainage will get fixed. We're moving barns. We're renovating barns. We're building, a wall in the back. We're doing so many cool things. Our education program is getting set up to be amazing. We just have so many good things that have to remind myself about. And even taking like the little things. We have great volunteers coming today. Lily's not doing good. I'm gonna get some time with Lily today, and Stanley seeing the grass for the first time, and so we do have beautiful things in the future, and the future looks bright, but not right now. Not right now. It's hard to see the positive in this situation, and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out where we go from here. It's just, you just wake up and you do it. Again, this is like no other job in the world where we don't have the option of not showing up. We don't have the option of laying in bed and crying, which I cry all night. I wake up crying. I wake up with anxiety. I fall asleep and I wake up a couple hours later with tears running down my face because it's not just about Lily. It's about all the loss that we've had, and it brings up all those emotions about losing everyone. And there's a great song that I beg you to listen to. If you've ever had loss in your life, if you ever felt pain in your life, there's a song you have to listen to. And I wasn't a fan when he was alive, but Warren Zevon did a documentary about he was diagnosed with cancer and his he did a documentary about dying. And he sang a song, Keep Me in Your Heart. And I urge you, if you feel pain today, if you feel sadness for Lily or any person or animal or any loss you have, listen to the Warren Zevon song, Keep Me in Your Heart. And I promise you, you will feel such a deep love and connection for the person or whoever you lost. It's one of the most perfect songs in this situation. I put it on Lily's post on Facebook. But I listened to that song. I listened to that song when I lost Vivian the person. And I've listened to that song every couple weeks since then. And I always listen to it. And I listened to it with Louis, and it's talking about keeping you in your heart. Like, hey, I'm leaving, but I hope you remember me in small moments of your life. And, I don't want you to stop doing what you're doing, but just take a second to remember me. Take a second, keep me in your heart. And obviously, they're all in my heart, but listen to the song. I urge you, and feel free to message me on how that song has hit you. But I promise you, Warren Zevon, Keep Me in Your Heart will change you. It will change you. I absolutely promise you that. It's it's a song that's so powerful and written by someone who was dying. And he didn't want to have his family stop what they're doing. He didn't want it to break them. But all he wanted to is to be remembered once in a while. When you're doing things that remind you of them, keep keep them in your heart. And it sounds like so weird, but the song is when I'm feeling, when I'm struggling and I need to get a good cry out. I need to I need to just let it out, let a good cry out, and just really let a good cry out and cleanse my soul. It allows me to do that. And I promise you, and feel free to message me anywhere and let me know. Listen to it a couple times, close your eyes and listen to the words and let it heal you a little bit. If you need a good cry to cleanse yourself, this is what's going to do it. This song, it's like, and honestly, I know nothing about Warren Zevon, so I don't know if he was a good person, if he was a bad person. So don't come at me if there's something that he did that I can't control. I'm just talking about this song and the art that he created and the healing he created for his family. So when he was leaving this world, it wasn't a woe is me, I'm dying. It was like, hey, go on with your life, enjoy your life, but take some seconds and remember me. And so I promise you it will help you get a good cry and maybe heal a little thing in your body that needs a little love. And maybe I'm being stupid and it's dumb, but it's what helps me keep on keeping on. It is. It helps me understand more about the perspective of death and how we look at it and then the people who are leaving look at it. The only benefit, and this was hard because I drove, the doctors told us about Lily and how she wasn't going to make it and how we came up to say goodbye. And driving up there, Beck and I drove up there, and I felt like it's hard because she didn't know that it was her last couple of hours. We knew it was her last couple of hours. All she knew that she was in pain, and she just had a CAT scan, so she was a little groggy. But that's hard on your soul because you're driving knowing that you're going to say goodbye to an animal that has no idea they're not going to exist in a couple of hours physically. And so driving to Cornell was very hard. And we got there and she was in pain. She just couldn't walk. She wasn't like in pain where she was screaming. She just couldn't walk. She could not walk at all. She could not get up. And that's not how anyone wants to live. She could not be in a wheelchair. Her body, every joint was destroyed. She could not control a wheelchair. She could not function. And they talked about removing her legs, so she'd be like a legless pig. What the hell is that? That's not, they couldn't do that. They knew they couldn't do that, but they said, they wouldn't have done it, but they said her legs just are mush. Her joints are mush, and there's nothing they could do about getting her out of pain. There wasn't enough painkillers that could do anything because she was so broken. And so we went and we sat with her. She ate a whole thing of nutter butter. She ate a whole thing of two things of fig Newtons. So she died with a full belly. She passed with a very full belly. And she was still taking them to the bitter end. And we held on to her as she said goodbye. And she went very peacefully. But she's gone. I don't know any more to say. And I just want to say thank you, everybody. The messages has been beautiful. Make sure you share her story to make sure people understand that this is what's happening because of breeders and homesteaders and people like that. And we have to change it, man. We have to change it because she meant something to so many people. This wasn't just, I just can't get over you look at Lily and be like, that's delicious. I got a message from someone in my DMs on Facebook about Moby, and they wanted to buy them for food, buy him and a couple other pigs for food. And I know they were just poking me, but you know what they should do. And, not the day for me to get into a battle with someone because usually I enjoy that. But I think we all have to realize that, we got to be better. So the big thing is, and I've stood in this spot a million times and thought about all this stuff. And she changed a lot of people. And maybe she should, and we're going to have to just keep on keeping on and do the work that we're doing. We don't have time to take a breath and we don't have time to take a break. There's too much to do with the flooding and the weather, and you could see everybody out there. Everybody's got grass. We don't have grass yet. This has been our worst winter ever by far. And we just need a change. So if anybody has any questions, thank you for the beautiful words that we've been sent. And we'll go live tomorrow and celebrate Princess's 7-year rescue anniversary. And we don't want Princess to not have that. So thank you so much. Please, we haven't really talked about the auction of the snowflakes. We'll post about that later. Kay and Eileen and Beck were working on snowflakes of that auction. and there was one snowflake that they left out of the auction because they wanted to save it for another occasion, and it was the Lily's snowflake because the snowflake was missing one of the flakes or whatever, arms or whatever you call it on a snowflake, one of the, and so it was weird. It was called like the Lily snowflake, and they left it out of the auction because they wanted to save it for a special occasion. And this is before we knew Lily was sick, because this was last week. And so now we have this snowflake that was preserved, that was named after Lily, with like a missing arm on it. And so it was appropriate for that. And so that will pop up. But we do have that auction going on right now that we'll talk more details are later, but it's not important to us right now. So thank you so much for everything, everybody. We love your support. We love what you do. We love the messages. And just keep it going. People are asking, am I okay? Because I haven't been live for a long time. But we're dealing with flooding here. We're dealing with sadness, and we're dealing with grief. And so we'll try and move on. But the work here is, like I said, the flooding is ridiculous, and it takes 4 or 5 hours every day to clean. And so hopefully that we've been fixing as best we can, but so I don't know. But the Lily snowflake, I don't know what we'll do. Beck, what was the Lily snowflake called? You had a name for it?
We haven't. It's not available.
I know. I was just saying the weird thing is that we did not. But you named it, right?
Just the Lily.
It was just called the Lily. And what would we call it? It's missing a arm? It was just called the Lily.
Yeah, the Lily.
But what do you call an arm on a snowflake? What do we?
Dendrite.
It's missing a dendrite.
Well, no, the dendrite fell off while.
No, it actually has a malformed one.
It has a malformed dendrite. And they named it the Lily. It has a malformed dendrite that that they named the Lily. You named it the Lily?
Yeah, when we were because after you collect them, you have to then go look at them because 2 weeks before you can touch them. So as we're looking through, there's this one snowflake, and it's perfectly formed everywhere except for one little arm, and it's formed, but it's just a little smaller and a different type.
So
said that weeks ago.
yeah, that's what I said. It was
Yeah.
before we knew she was even sick. So that was crazy. So we'll see Willow. We'll go see Willow before I sign off. We're doing a big cleaning today. We did put up some cat shelves, which is really cool. We're gonna see Lily, and Timmy's on his couch. Hi, Timmy. Timmy Cocoa Pop. Hi, Timmy Cocoa Pop. Everybody in special care is really sad. Here she is. Oh, but George has been snuggling with Willow. Willow's not getting Willow. I know. She knows. She's really depressed. She knows. Hi, Timmy. Hi, George. I can't open the door. She's there, but I can open this door. So this is the barn that's flooding. It's coming in through the wall because the cement slab was not poured right. So it needs to drain. They have to put a drain in over there. But there's mortars coming in through the wall. You can see. So that will be fixed in the spring. And Willow, can you move, honey? She wants to come out, Willow. Ow! Why Why'd you bite me? It sucks. She's definitely depressed. Now, what are you doing? You got to move out of the. What are you doing, George? George, Beck showed me some video of George. Hi, Allie. George snuggling with her. So she was laying in a bed over here, and George went over and started laying next to Willow, which is crazy. So so maybe Willow will heal through George, and you want to come over here, honey? Hey, you can go this way. You want to come this way? We've been opening up all the stalls, and everybody's been getting along in special care. So you see George. Look. He's following Willow around. So it's really sweet. So what's nice about this barn is, see, I can open up all the stalls in the middle and everything can open, everybody can be around. But George has been following Willow around, And so this just started when Lily wasn't here. And Beck caught a video of him like going into bed with her, and it's like, it's crazy, It's crazy. Look at this good girl using Lily's wheelchair. And look at her. She uses the litter box like a perfect angel. We have Lily's wheelchair. So this is going to be because it reminds Beck of a lodge, of a wooden lodge. So it's Lily's Lodge. And we're going to have something made for her, in a sign and everything. So George is following her. George is following Willow. How crazy is that? George is following Willow. It is the craziest thing. Willow's stealing Delilah's bed. But she's allowed to. So all the doors are open. Everybody gets along. Look. He's following her. He's like not leaving her. Like George is not leaving her. It's crazy. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's awesome. And animals are so amazing. People, please open your eyes. They're so freaking amazing. I'm going to go. I have to work. Volunteers are here, and they're working, and I'm not. So that's not okay. So thank you for your continued love and support. Please share Lily's story. It needs to be shared. Everything we posted about her needs to be shared. She changed a lot of people. Delilah's been following me around the whole time. Again later and talk about the day and what's going on. But I love you all for what you've done for us, what you've done for Lily, what you've done for these animals. Allowing us to continue this work is just, you got to take the highs with the lows. And I was even thinking of having someone paint lilies in here, like on here. I don't know. I just have so many ideas of making sure she's not forgotten in here, because this barn was built for her. This barn was built for her. This wheelchair, the doors were custom made for that wheelchair. Those doors were custom made so her wheelchair would be able to go outside. This barn was built for her. This barn was built for her. Like literally, we measured the wheelchair so the doors would be cut the right size. Have a great day. Thank you for your love and support. Peace, love, and pigs.